Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're here with my usual daily, but I can't really call it my daily at the moment because I'm not driving it at the moment. That's a little bit what this video is about, just sort of updating why this thing is not being really used at the moment and the plan, and then we're going to do a partial fleet update of what's been going on the past couple of weeks with a couple of cars on here. As you may know, this is sort of the busiest time of year for me with getting some customer cars ready. We have a big car show or summer meet for the Jag Club in a couple weeks, and I have a couple of cars need to be done for that, so that's why I'm not working that much on my own stuff, but a lot of that will come later in August and September, and honestly I'm really looking forward to that. But this is my usual daily. It's my 1975 XJ6, and I've had it now I think for 4 years. Absolutely love it. I've had a lot of questions about why is this my favorite car, because it's definitely not the one that's in best shape. It's definitely not the rarest. I have an XJ12, that's pretty much the same car. But I love driving this thing. It is such a comfortable car. It fits me like a glove, and I just really like it. So that's a little bit weird while it's been parked for a while now. So let's go through that a little bit and tell you why that's been happening, and also what my plan is for it. Because before I really start dailying this thing again in the fall, there are a couple big jobs I want to do to it just to improve it. So it's been sitting here for most of the summer. I started up every now and then, just drive it a little bit, keep the brakes moving and all that, but I haven't been really using it as a daily as such. The issues, if you remember, it started with a couple things. It started with the alternator, so replace that. Then the day after, I was going to drive my kids to daycare, and I got a really bad misfire, barely got back home. I thought it was ignition related due to the backfiring and all of that. Did a lot of troubleshooting. Finally, I pulled the distributor because I have a 123 in here, and I thought, okay, maybe something's happened to that with the alternator issue and all of that. I pulled that and I put points distributor in, and it was better, but not perfect. And then I started thinking, okay, what happened? So what happened was it was overcharging for a little bit. I fixed that, and then we had a lot of pollen, and because we had a drought for a bit then as well, so the car was really dirty. So I washed it up, and I thought, you know what, maybe I got water in the tank. So I popped the cap here, and let me see if I have the keys on me. I can show you guys. There is a drain back here. Right there. That was completely covered in leaves and things from all that pollen. So I had some water in the fuel, I think. I haven't completely drained or anything. I put in a water treatment, and I put some fresh gas in it just to see how it went. And that went a lot better. It started running as it should, and it's almost perfect. So what I want to do is put the 123 back in, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Set that all up. I'm going to completely drain the fuel tank because I've run it pretty low now, and then flush it out, put in new fresh fuel, more fuel additive cleaners, and run it, and I think it's going to be just fine. So there are a couple things I do want to do to this thing before the fall and winter. Like, this is usually my daily. I drive it year round. When it's really bad snowy weather, I don't always drive. I have driven it in the winter a lot, and it does really well. But I do have plans for a different winter daily. We'll get to that in a little bit. However, I want to do a couple things to it. I want to get the cam covers off and check the tappets, because they're a little bit on the noisy side, and they haven't been checked after rebuild. So we're going to check the clearances, do that, and put on new gaskets on this side. The gasket was installed incorrectly, so that's why, if you remember, I had to do this last year, the day before a car show. Just put some RTV on there, and it's not leaking anymore. So I want to do that. I want to check the timing chain, tension, and all of that, and just clean it up and make it look a little bit nicer. The whole time I've had this car, I've only run it on the left tank. So the right one has a leak. I have a good right tank now, so we're going to drop this tank, put in the other tank, connect up the pump and everything, so I have both tanks on it. That will be like a big thing. Same time I do that, I'm going to finally fit the chrome to the rear windscreen because I just have to have the car in the shop for a bit to do that. And I think we're going to go underneath and check some of the other seal, see how that's doing, and probably fix that in a couple places where it's worn off. Just make sure it is ready to run. Then I want to do some cosmetic things on it. Door cards really let this car down, but I have a set of pretty good door cards I got from a friend. They're not perfect, but I think with 2 sets of door cards I can make a pretty good set. So that's the plan, make that look a little bit nicer because the dash and everything's really good. And then I have a fun plan for the carpets. So if the budget allows for this winter, I want to do new carpets for the car. So that is really why I haven't been using it, just because there are these small little issues. Also the exhaust needs to be rehung because I scraped it on something and it's vibrating a little bit at about 1500 RPMs. So there's all these small little things, and that's why I want to do it. And also because I've been driving something else. So let's go have a look at what has been my summer daily so far. And here we have it, my 1972 Rover P6 V8, which I've really fallen for. So this has really been used as my summer daily, but I haven't actually been driving that much because I've been off work now for 3 weeks. We've been home, kids have been home, so I haven't really gone anywhere. But whenever I've gone somewhere, I've tried to take this, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed using it. It is a very different driving experience than the XJ6. That's something we're going to do in the fall when the jobs are done on the XJ6. It'll be a comparison videos of these two British saloons, because in some senses they're very similar, but in some ways they're very different as well. This thing, I think I'm on like 600-700 kilometers now on it since it's been back on the road, and I've just been absolutely loving it. There is a pretty, not long list, but there's a list of things I want to do this winter. We're going to do shocks on it because they're worn out. Might do some bushings on it, and probably get some time to polish it up and make it look even nicer. But I did bring it to his first car show, and I really enjoyed it there. And the nice thing was, or what really surprised me, is that a lot of people came up and took photographs of it. People seemed to be really happy seeing this car. And when I drove out from the show, because we left sort of early, really hot, had the windows down, so I could hear what people were saying as I was driving by. And people were commenting, oh, have a look at that old lovely Rover over there. Oh, look at that nice red Rover. And that was really fun. But yeah, absolutely love this thing. It has one tiny electrical gremlin at the moment. When I drove back from the car show, when I go over bumps sometimes, the fuel gauge wants to max out and peg out. So that's probably short into ground somewhere. So we're going to have to find what that is. But that seems to be really the only issue with this car at the moment. I have also been driving my 1977 XJ12 quite a bit. Not the past couple of weeks because it's been just really cold and rainy, and there's no point using this thing then, because the best thing about this car is the fantastic air conditioning in it. It has a fan air system that you may know. You can have a look at it, at least what it looks like in the engine bay. And it's absolutely great. It's such a nice car when it's warm. But this thing is going to get a nice adventure. I mentioned the summer meet for the Jag clubs in a couple of weeks. I'll be going in this one with my wife. We're staying there in the hotel, and that will be really fun. So before then, I just need to really check some fluids on it, polish a couple things on it a little bit, put a fresh coat of wax on it, and we're pretty much ready to go. Should be fun. I've never taken this thing to a summer meet, and I haven't seen any early V12s at summer meets for a long time. So it's probably going to be the only pre-HE V12 there, and probably maybe one of just a handful of Series 2 XJs. So that's going to be really fun as well. All right, so we're back in the XJ6 where it all started. Now suddenly the sun's out and it's hot. It's a weird summer here. We have really nice weather in the beginning, and now it's just every other hour some rain, and then the sun and rain and sun. So yeah, not the most fun. But I wanted to do a partial update on the other cars, just because if I say I'm not driving this, I'll get a question, well, what are you driving? and that is the P6 and the XJ12. Those will strictly be summer cars for me. So as soon as we get into fall and it starts to be raining and stuff, this will be back as my daily. And I'm honestly really looking forward to it. I'm really ready for fall. I'm looking forward to all the leaves changing colors. I know we're just in July, but I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. And you know, running this thing with this fantastic heater in the morning, that's something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully I'll have some time before then to finish some of the small jobs on this thing and really just make sure it is good to go for the winter. I do have the X-Type Estate that you know, which is sort of the winter daily when it's nice and snowy, but I do have some plans actually on selling that and getting something else. It's not completely set in stone yet, but what I have planned, I think you guys will really, really like. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.